Jacob settled in the land where his father had lived as a foreigner in the land of Canaan. This is the account of Jacob's descendants. Joseph, at the age of 17, was shepherding the flock with his brothers. He was still young and was with the sons of Bilhah and the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. Now Joseph brought to their father a bad report about them. Israel loved Joseph more than all his sons, because he was the son of his old age, and he had made him a tunic with long sleeves. His brothers, seeing that their father loved him more than all his brothers, hated him and could not speak to him kindly. Now Joseph had a dream, and he told it to his brothers, and they hated him even more. He said to them, "Listen to this dream I had. We were binding sheaves in the field, and behold, my sheaf rose and stood upright, while your sheaves gathered around and bowed down to mine." His brothers said to him, "Will you indeed reign over us, or will you really rule us?" And they hated him even more because of his dreams and his words. Then he had another dream and told it to his father and his brothers, saying, "Behold, I have had another dream. The sun, the moon, and 11 stars were bowing down to me." He told it to his father and his brothers, and his father rebuked him, saying, "What is this dream that you have had? Shall I, your mother, and your brothers really come to bow down to the ground before you?" So his brothers were jealous of him, but his father kept the matter in mind. His brothers went to graze their father's flock near Shechem. Israel said to Joseph, "Your brothers are grazing the flock near Shechem, aren't they? Come, I'm sending you to them." He answered, "Here I am." Then he said to him, "Go and see how your brothers and the flock are doing, and bring word back to me." So he sent him from the valley of Hebron, and he arrived at Shechem. As he was wandering in the fields, a man found him and asked him, "What are you looking for?" He replied, "I'm looking for my brothers. Please tell me where they are grazing the flock." The man said, "They have moved on from here, for I heard them say, 'Let us go to Dothan.'" So Joseph went after his brothers and found them in Dothan. They saw him from a distance, and before he reached them, they conspired to kill him. They said to one another, "Here comes the dreamer. Come now, let us kill him and throw him into one of the cisterns. Then we will say, 'A wild beast has devoured him.' Then we shall see what will become of his dreams." But Reuben heard it and sought to rescue him from their hands, saying, "Let us not take his life." Then he said to them, "Do not shed blood. Throw him into this cistern in the wilderness, but do not lay a hand on him." He intended to rescue him from their hands and bring him back to his father. When Joseph came to his brothers, they stripped him of his tunic, the tunic with long sleeves that he wore, and they seized him and threw him into the cistern. The cistern was empty. There was no water in it, and they sat down to eat. Looking up, they saw a caravan of Ishmaelites coming from Gilead with their camels loaded with gum, balm, and myrrh, on their way to take them down to Egypt. Judah said to his brothers, "What profit is there in killing our brother and concealing his blood? Come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let our hands not be upon him, for he is our brother, our own flesh." His brothers agreed. Some Midianite traders passed by, and they pulled Joseph up and lifted him out of the cistern and sold him to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. And they took Joseph to Egypt. When Reuben returned to the cistern, Joseph was not there. He tore his clothes and returned to his brothers, saying, "The boy is gone. Where shall I go?" Then they took Joseph's tunic, slaughtered a goat, and dipped the tunic in the blood. They sent the tunic with long sleeves to their father and said, "We found this. Examine whether it is your son's tunic or not." He recognized it and said, "It is my son's tunic. A wild beast has devoured him. Joseph has surely been torn to pieces." Jacob tore his clothes, put sackcloth around his waist, and mourned for his son for many days. All his sons and daughters came to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted, saying, "No, I will go down to my son, mourning in his Sheol." And his father wept for him. Meanwhile, the Midianites sold Joseph in Egypt to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh and captain of a guard.